Do not make a movie. Please do not make a movie. Please do not make a movie. So season 3 of Invincible came out, and I swear every time they drop a new banger season, there's another fool on Twitter talking about they should fan cast Henry Cavill as Omni-Man. No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't even make a movie. But yeah, it's easy to forget, but Robert Kirkman did officially say at one point that they are working on an Invincible movie, and I straight up do not like that idea in the slightest, man. The Invincible comic book series and the Amazon Prime TV show is basically this, like, adult subversion of all the superhero cartoon media that we've consumed over the years. It basically has the same aesthetic and sometimes even tone of Teen Titans or Justice League Unlimited, until shit gets real. Mark gets the shit rocked out of him. He sees the most gruesome deaths imaginable. His father creates a genocide for some reason, and he's like, oh, join in, it's not that big of a deal. His girlfriend hates him for, like, lying to him about being a superhero. This man saves people, leave Mark alone. And also his homie's boyfriend turned into a cyborg because of Ezra Miller. So this guy's life is just not that great altogether. And that's all from season 1. I'm just kind of like, this is a bummer now. Like, it's still peak, but it's just kind of a bummer. I mean, with the popularity of the show, movie adaptation was basically inevitable. I mean, just looking at the state of movies right now, of course they're going to make a live-action Invincible movie. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I mean, just because something can happen doesn't mean it should happen, right? I mean, look at the abomination that is the live-action Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. The show itself is peak as hell. It is one of my favorite TV shows of all time. And then this movie comes along and basically shows the world, hey, here's why you shouldn't adapt a long-running TV show into just one movie. I'm assuming that this Invincible movie is gonna adapt an entire season worth of story into a 2-hour movie. And man, that is a mistake on so many levels. So that's what we're going to discuss tonight. The trouble with adaptation. The problem is that adapting Invincible, a show and comic book series with so many comic issues, episodes of TV, and storylines is just an impossible task for any director and screenwriter. You are going to have to cut a lot, and cutting just any episode of Invincible just because you think it's filler may have some long-lasting implications that maybe they haven't even considered. For instance, there's this episode in season 1 that's kind of a little bit creepy, in which this scientist named D.A. Sinclair is kidnapping college students and turning them into cyborgs. He even goes as far as, like, cutting the throats of human beings while they're, like, still conscious, and it is disgusting and disturbing. And the first time I saw it, I was like, holy shit, Mark, get his ass now! But as good as this episode is, does this story really help the full grand narrative that the first season is trying to say? Not really. So you may as well cut it, but then that leads to a different problem entirely. You see, this isn't just another fun little entertaining one-off episode. It is crucial in showing the moral ambiguity of one of the main characters of the show, Cecil. This is a hugely important episode because it sets up Mark and Cecil's falling out in the 3rd season. You see, once this episode is over and all seems right in the world, the character Cecil decides not to put the man in prison, but instead to rehabilitate him. He basically uses Sinclair to create his own little army to help stop the Viltrumites from coming. It's a shocking story element that only works because we see firsthand how evil and vile and disgusting of a man D.A. Sinclair is. But it also works so fantastically well because you also kind of see where Cecil's coming from. We are shown everything here. It's not explained through exposition. We see firsthand how evil D.A. Sinclair is and how kind of fucked up it is that Cecil's trusting a man like this. Especially because what D.A. Sinclair did still has long-lasting implications for Mark's friend's life. I think strong characterization is something that the story of Invincible does really well, and I fear that the writers and directors of Invincible may cut certain things just because it doesn't necessarily advance the plot right away. Now listen, there are some workarounds. It's not entirely doomed. But I do fear that certain characters may just be cut, or even worse, we get these characters, but they're a shell of what they are in the TV show. Again, because a 2-hour movie is just straight up not enough time to adapt this storyline. The reality is that the bigger focus of this movie is going to have to be on Mark Grayson's relationship with his father. It is the most important part of this story, and frankly, the most interesting by far in my opinion. But also because of this, certain characters are just straight up gonna have to take a back seat. I think if Cecil's in this movie, which he better fucking be in this movie, his entire focus is gonna be about him trying to investigate what happened to the original Guardians of the Globe. And that's an interesting storyline that the character goes on, and you still do get to see some of the characterizations that I'm talking about here. Cecil does some really shitty things in that season in order to stop Omni-Man from destroying the world. But straight up, it's just not enough, and you're removing really interesting layers to a character if you just start cutting his storylines like that. So what does this Invincible movie need to do at the very least? Well, in my opinion, it's keeping the core the same. It goes without saying, as I mentioned before, that the main focus of this movie should be Mark Grayson's relationship with his father, Omni-Man. At the beginning of this movie, Fuck, I said Invincible. I wasn't supposed to say that name. At the beginning of this movie, Mark sees his father on a pedestal. And at the end of this movie, that needs to be shattered completely. He needs to realize how evil of a man his father really is in this storyline. But here's the problem. Adapting Omni-Man's brutality and immorality is gonna be... Ooh, that shit right. Damn.
What?
Look, kid, we've had our differences. But we're still on the same side. We're still trying to save lives. And we're still the good guys.
Adapting Omni-Man's brutality is gonna be straight up hard to do in a live-action environment. His fight scene between him and the Guardians of the Globe needs to be kind of disgusting to look at. But that might be easier said than done because the brutality of the show and comic may not translate so well when it's real human beings. But even if you accept that the violence is going to be toned down, because of course it is, man, at the very least what you can't do is cut down the consequences and implications of Omni-Man's actions. The show takes its time to not only show how Mark reacts to the Guardians of the Globe's death, but also their loved ones' reactions too. Hell, I don't know if this is gonna be my most insane hot take yet. I don't even know if I fully even agree with it myself. I might look at this in a week from now and be like, this guy is so damn stupid. But the character of Olga, I think, is more important to the story of Season 1 than any of the members of Team Teen. Even Rex. What the fuck is wrong with me, man? Why am I saying these things? I'm not trying to say that I like Olga more, because I know some of you were like, who the fuck is Olga? Like, her character was fine. But I do think she's a crucial character to the story and the narrative that this show is trying to tell. Olga is the mourning fiancé to the character Red Rush that Omni-Man brutally killed in the first episode. This is a character that perfectly emphasizes the consequences and actions of Omni-Man. He did not care at all for any of the members of the Guardians of the Globe or the family they left behind. Seeing the character of Olga mourn in grief makes all the deaths in this show feel all the more real, especially for characters we just straight up did not have a lot of time spent with. Olga is a physical representation of the sins of Omni-Man, how cold-hearted he is and how he shows no remorse at all for his actions. You can remove any storyline and character you wish, but please, for the love of God, keep whatever emotional turmoil or consequences and weight of the stories you do decide to keep. At the end of the story, you need to sit with the fact that Mark and his mother's world has changed dramatically, 100% for the worse. Otherwise, Omni-Man's redemption arc means nothing. Yeah, we'll have some hype moments in Aura for sure, but it will pale in comparison to what we've had previously. I'm not even saying this idea is born to fail. In the right hands of the right director who cares about the source material, this could be a great watch. But at the end of the day, there are inherent problems that come with adapting a storyline like this. Certain storylines won't have time to shine, or moments are going to be undercut. The pacing could be too fast, or certain characters may not have the same nuance they once did, if they even appear at all. We haven't even mentioned the members of Team, Adam Eve, Duplicate from Fortnite, Rex, the GOAT, rest in peace, fly high. But whatever you do, Hollywood, don't you dare forget to adapt the GOAT of Invincible, Alan. If you know what's good for you, Hollywood. Yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, guys. Bye. I forgot to say this in the video, but I want to thank my homie Miguel for giving me feedback and helping me with the script. You're a real one, Miguel. Let's go!